Oh, I'm live. Who's out there? It's 8 o'clock on Monday night. It is time for our Makers Monday. Hold on one second. I don't need that. Okay. I'm watching to see if anyone's showing up. Oh, there's Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Your first one here. Like I said, everybody say hello. Give me a like or a thumbs up. And let me know that you're watching. How was your week? Hey, Sharon. I know we celebrated Easter yesterday in a fashion. Hello. I was pleasantly surprised. Hi, Mary. Thanks for coming in. I enjoyed some things about Easter that I didn't realize that we'd be able to do. And of course, there were things I missed, but I'm sure it was the same for all of you. So let me check one thing on my computer, and then I'll start talking. As you come in, say hello to everybody. Remember, we're doing a contest today, so go ahead and share this with your friends. And then if they come in and say that they're watching because of you, they'll get a chance. You'll get a chance to win the card kit. That is the prize. I wanted to celebrate that we've been doing this for 4 times for a whole month. I'm as surprised as you are that I've been able to do this 4 times. Hi, Renee. Hi, Cindy. Yay, everybody's coming in. And I can see it on the computer, so we're doing good. Let me just turn the sound off. There we go. All right. Yay. Hi, Rebecca. So I'm glad you're all coming in. Please share this. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Let me know you're there. If you have friends that are going to watch today because you told them to, I hope they tell me that, because we're doing a contest this week. If everybody that's watching while we're doing this that tells me they're watching because of you, you'll get a chance to win this card kit. This was from the celebration, one of the celebration items. It has 8 cards in it. It's actually for anybody because these sentiments are all pre-stamped, and I believe that they come in 4 languages. I know it's in German, French, English, and I'm not sure what the other language would be. It might be Japanese. Those are our 4 really big markets. But this is what I'll draw for, and I will do it. Once we're done with the live, I'll go back and look in to see who's telling me that they watched because of you. And those of you that shared it ahead of time get a chance. I know Sharon and Vicky and Tanya did that. So they've already got a ticket in the little bag back here. Hi, Deva. So this is what will be the prize if someone tells me they're watching because of you. So, but that was because I've done this for a month and we've come together for 4 weeks. And I'm really, really happy that we've been able to do that. Before I go any further, I want to do a shout out to Rebecca Feltner. Last week we worked on the pigments and the watercoloring effect they have. And I sent this out to anyone that was interested. And Rebecca got back to me and showed me a picture of the card she made. So, and it was really, really nice card. I really liked it. And it was inspiring. So I wanted to do a shout out and say thank you for following through on that, Rebecca. And I'm glad you were able to make use of that. Hi, Tanya. Thanks for joining us. So I think what I want to do next is I want to get right, as we're waiting for people to come on, I'm going to talk about what I'm going to demo. I talked about I was going to work on showing you some background stamps. The background stamp I wanted to focus on was Crackle paint, which is a really neat look that you can have for background paper. Background stamps are a little different than your average stamp. They're, like I said, they're really big. They're the size of this box. So if you have, they're the one stamp that still comes with a wood block if you desire it. They cost a little more if you want the wood. They come in the red rubber cling or to go onto the wood mounted. And let me find it in the catalog here. But there's several different, Not that I can find. I am prepared. I do kind of get prepared to do this, although it may not look like it right now. So here is the page. There's only a few of them, but in there they talk about the different different stamps they have. There's one that is like all over writing, one that looks like birch bark. There's another one that looks kind of like chicken wire or maybe honeycomb. This is either gingham or buffalo plaid, I guess. This is really cute. I've seen cute things in that for Christmas time and just real cute pastels with that. You basically can make your own background paper if you've got one of these background stamps. And this one right here is the Crackle, and that's one I'm going to talk about. But like I said, you either have to have the largest size acrylic block, a wood block, which if you look, all of these in the catalog, they show two different prices. One is the price of the red rubber cling that would go into acrylic, or the price of one with a wood block. Yes, Tanya, you have some background stamps, right? Which ones do you have? I bet you Mary has some too. But see, what I do with my background stamps is I don't have the largest size acrylic block. So I do have a Stamparatus, and I know Sharon, you have one. So, and this is what a Stamparatus is, folks. It is a stamping platform. So it is a way to put your paper in and hold it with a magnet. So, and then it has two different acrylic plates. There's one that goes this direction, and then there's one that can go the other direction. So the beauty of that is if you're making multiple cards and you're trying to stamp maybe the outer image and then the inside image, you can just go right along merrily and create them. The reason I'm using this today for the background stamp is, like I said, I need a large block, in essence, to hold my stamp. See, this is my stamp. And when you use a background stamp, the best way to stamp is the opposite of how you usually stamp. You usually take a stamp, you have it on a block, and you press it into the ink, and you press it down on your paper. With the background stamp, it is best to have the stamp face up and put the paper on it. Hi, Terry. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to do that with these. I did some ahead of time, so let me show you. Oh, you have chicken wire, birch, and Crackle, Tanya. Nice. Now I know where to come knocking on the door if I want to borrow some. This is what I worked up over the weekend. And I just stamped these out. This is very vanilla. That's the paper stock with espresso brown. This next one is crumb cake cardstock with espresso brown. Then I had Sahara sand with memento black. And I had gray granite with memento black. And then I did a green with shaded spruce. I just really like them. They give you a lot of options. They are neat, Rebecca. This is my favorite one, and like it's my only one so far, but I'm looking forward to getting more. And you can use them as they are full, or you could slice it and just use like a panel. So like I did last week when we had the pigment ones, if you would like one of these, comment in the comments that you would like one, and I can send it to you. And then you can surprise me with another marvelous card creation. So just let me know if you want one. These are the cards that I created with the ones that I made. And I know sometimes when we're creating cards, you always wonder where to stop. But I also tried out the new Label Me Pretty. Oh, hi. Hi, Chris. All right, Rebecca, way to go. You're the first one where someone said that they're watching because of you, so you're getting a chance in the drawing. Woohoo! Let's hope we get some more coming, guys. Great, I'm glad you like one, Rebecca. Tell me if you like a certain color. But I did this one, and then I used that Label Me Pretty, and then I did a few die cuts around it. But when I first started thinking about this card, and I put a piece of ribbon in here too, that was my original idea for this card. And I always sometimes wonder, I kind of like that too. It's just real clean and simple. It's just paper. I do have one little run of ribbon in the middle there underneath it, and I dimensionalized the label stamp. I'll show you the stamp set in a minute. So, and then I added, I'm glad you got your sample, Cindy. Then I went kind of crazy and added these flowers though. So I don't know. Some people like when you have a lot on there, and then other people like something clean and crisp, like, where'd it go? This one. So what do you think? Do you guys add too much and then wonder, or do you keep it simple? I played around with it. I had fun. I'll use them all. Someone will appreciate them. I just wonder at what point do we stop and then you add something else. I will say this one doesn't have any because I really went bare bones with that. But I still like it. But when you look at these, I did add some sequins in there. I do like having 3 little sequins spread out. And this is a really neat ribbon. It's a tulle ribbon, and it's got little polka dot. So these were just plain grain ribbons there. So, and this was just to show you real quick. I'll list all these later. I always do. I list all the items that I use. You like the gray with embellishments. So you like this one then. I think that's gray granite. You keep adding stuff, Cindy. Yeah, that's what I did. And then I played with them and I colored these with the pencils. All right, then I was right to use the flowers. But you can, we all have different things in our cupboards to use. So you can decide what you want. I like the polka dots really well there. But this was I think I talked about that. I got this last week. So what I used for the main sentiment was this Label Me Pretty stamp set, and then I punched it out. So it actually used 2. It used this one, and then it used, oh, you're watching because of Cindy? Okay, Terry, I got it. And then I used these words right here in the center of it. So I just thought that was a great way. I'm going to use this for tags, and I was going to start with the birthday, but I didn't need a birthday card at the time. But that was the stamp set I used. So anyway, let me see if I'm up to where I need to. Yeah, I think that's all we need to talk about. I'm going to head and turn this down, and I will show you. You can keep commenting, and as you come in, make sure you remind people to tell me that they're watching because of you. Once I go down, it is hard for me to see the comments. So which one do you have, Mary? Oh, you have the Label Me Pretty? I love that one. That's true. Playing cards are better for masculine. I didn't think about that, but. So I'm going to turn it down. Keep talking amongst yourselves. And if people come that are watching because of you, make sure they say something. Let me get this going. I know how to do it, but I always like to be careful. All right, so we should be able to flip it and be right where we need to be for the demo. Let me get my paper. So, oh, there it is. Let's see if we're in line with it. That's a little far up. Let's come down a little bit if we can, so we can see a little better. Okay. So I know it was a little high up. So that should be a little bit better. I think I'll adjust the table and not the phone. Oh, I see more people are on. Hello, everybody. I can't really see the comments at the moment, so if they need help, people can talk for me. All right. So this is the stamp, and it's on that plate from the Stamparatus. Because like I said, you stamp differently with a background stamp. So you'll want to ink your stamp, and then you'll want to put your paper carefully on your stamp. And then you'll want to have a piece of spare paper because you want your image to go all the way. Maybe you're cutting this down, maybe you aren't. I did cut mine down a little bit. This is a full card front size, so it'll run off. But then you'll put this extra piece over it, and then you'll use your hands to press down. So, but the first thing you have to do is ink it. So, and this was that's the crumb cake. That's a really If you don't have that cardstock color, that's a nice cardstock color for bases. But the first thing you got to do is ink up. And I find that when you're inking, since it's so big, if I can open my, there we go. It's a relatively new one. So it's a little, this is the newer size. Some of you may have the older style ink pads. But you'll want the larger ink pad because it takes too long. Trust me, I had to do the shaded spruce with the little bitty. You want a bigger size for these. So just go ahead and ink that up. Okay. Okay. And then I should probably close that. I could just see that ending up somewhere it shouldn't, but one second, because I think I should have plenty enough on there. This is a fairly new and juicy, as they say. That's a description of a stamp pad. So then get your paper, and you're just going to carefully set that right down on it. Okay, it's a little cockeyed, but that's all right. It's a background. And most likely you're going to trim this. Then you put a scratch piece on top of that. And just press it down. You don't want the paper to move around because then your image will blur. But you just want to press down really well all over so that it gets a real good crisp image. Fingers crossed that I'm doing this right. It's not that hard. The only thing, if you shift the paper, you'll blur the image. So that's the main thing you want to try not to do. So then we'll lift that up. And then we'll lift this up and we'll see how I did. You might get a little ink on your fingers, but not bad. So that's how you create your background image. It could be a little darker here, but sometimes a little lighter is good for a background. I've done them both ways. It just depends on how much ink you have and how much pressure. So that's how you make the main image. Now I will say, and remember, you want to get your Simply Shammy to clean, because that's a lot of ink. And beware when you're cleaning with this much ink there, where you touch on here, it might come back off of quickly. You usually have to rinse pretty good, but you can just wipe this. You're going to see you're going to get a lot of ink off there. I could have done another one, but I'm not going to right now. And I'm too afraid I'm going to get this. I would fold this way, ladies, because you got a lot of ink. But then and I would probably later clean this with my really good one, but you can easily get into all the nooks and crannies with a Simply Shammy. If you don't have a Simply Shammy, get one. I don't know why everybody doesn't have one. They don't stay pretty looking long, but they work great. So anyway, there you go. You're all cleaned up with that. I want to show you one other thing. And I know last week, I'm going to answer a question I think that Sarah had last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. So I found an answer to something. But if you noticed on my cards, it was only on the card that I trimmed them down. When I did these, I also distressed the edges with a dauber. And that's when you take a little ink and you rub it along the edge of your card, or your background area that you stamped, to distress it, to make it look old, like an old-fashioned photo kind of. And that just adds a little dimension to it. So I wanted to show you really quick how to do that too. Take your daubers, and we talked about daubers and sponges when we were doing that inking technique. And I have one for each because I've been doing this. So take your little dauber. Oh, and I closed the ink. Ha ha ha. But there's your ink real quick. And get a little bit of that. Then all you do is just go along the edge like this. And then you'll see that you can, there's no right or wrong. There's a certain other scrapbooking tool, which I can't mention because I'm doing a Stampin' Up! Thing that does a lot of distressing. It kind of introduced me to distressing. It's kind of a relaxation thing to do. But anyway, that's how you distress. And the other week, Sarah asked me, how do we clean these daubers? How do we clean a sponge? I know a lot of people, when you're inking, you might use one of those makeup brushes. Well, I saw something, and you can actually clean these because it's the same kind of ink we just cleaned with your Simply Shammy. Now, it'll remain stained, which you can't tell, but you can clean the ink. See, you can see it coming right off. And I don't know that I'd do a light color with this, but you could do a different dark color then after it had dried. So there's an answer to a question, which I don't usually always have, but I know Sarah asked that the other week, and I found an answer while I was watching something else. So that's what I wanted to show you this week. I will list all the items that I used like I always do. One item I used, I'll show you real quick here while we're still down, is when we talked about the sequins. In the back of the book, there's several different ways that they have sequins and embellishments. I think the most economical way is when you get these little tubs, and they usually have, I don't know, 200 or 300 little things in there. That's where the black sequins came from. And those are in the back of the catalog. And they have ones that are self-adhesive, and it costs a little more, of course, because you already have the adhesive in there. But you can get ones that aren't self-adhesive too. So I think I used some of these on one of them. And then they show you the different tubs. I didn't know that they didn't have black ones in the annual catalog. I had to go to the mini catalog, the most recent one. And these were not out of there. But there was one called, I'll put it in the comments after we finish here. But there was one from the Peaceful Poppies that had black sequins mixed in. I just find myself using black sequins more than I ever thought I would. So just one little tip there. But that was what I wanted to show down there. Let me turn it up so we can talk again, because it's more fun when I know what you're saying about me. So up we go. Oh, hi, Doris. Oh, no. Oh, good. It didn't lose you. Sometimes it'll lose you when it thinks you're rotating it. Hold on, people. This is the tricky part. You joined at a fun time, Doris. All right, here I am. I'm back. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the demo. Let me get this so I can see what we're all saying. All right, so that's what I wanted to show you in the demo. I have a couple little more things that we can talk about as we're going back and forth. Did anybody see Donna? Did Donna come on yet? I was going to ask her if she's on tomorrow. I know she wasn't live last week, but she had some things come on with her family. So, yeah, so going forward, have you like that on the distressing, Terry? That's really easy to do, and it does add a lot of dimension to your card. So, and really it just takes, if you've got a sponge, or if you don't, we do sell real inexpensive sponges or daubers, and you've already got the ink. So it's not really that much more to just get that to add a different dimension. And then you can use things for coloring too with those. So going forward, like I said, if you want one of these from what we did today, if anybody wants one of the background papers that I produced with a Crackle stamp so that you can create a card from it, just let me know and I will mail one to you, okay? And then hopefully if you make a card, you'll share it with me, because I love seeing what you guys do. I see someone else make a card, I think, wow, that's great. And then I hear him plugging along with mine, just hoping I can pull the bits together. But no matter what you do, it always seems to come out pretty good in the end. So looking forward, I know the demonstrators, we always need something to look forward to right now with everything going on. But things keep moving. A lot of the online businesses are working, and Stamping Up is working. And on April 22nd, the demonstrators, we're all looking forward to the new catalog sneak peek that's coming out. So I know some of you, if you do Paper Pumpkin, the paper pumpkin for May, the April one just closed out and will be being sent to you, people that have it coming. But the one for May, it's interesting. I posted a link to the picture, and they're just showing a black and white box. And they're keeping it a secret until later this month, until after they give us the sneak peek of the catalog, because the paper pumpkin for May will be an introduction to the new in colors that Stampin' Up! Comes up with for the next year. So those of you that are familiar, if you're not familiar, Stampin' Up! Has 4 basic color palettes that it draws from. Every year and then they have 2 palettes of 5 each, because they come up with one for a year and it lasts for 2 years, and they have another one. So you have these 2 5 color palettes that trade out with each other every year. So they'll be coming out with a new series of 5 colors in the new catalog. And the Paper Pumpkin for May is going to introduce all those colors. So that's really exciting. So that's a couple things to look forward to. So if you're interested in Paper Pumpkin, let me know. There are several ways. I'll put the ways that you can get involved in it. But I don't know what I'll demo next week. If you have any ideas of something that you'd like to see, put it in the comments, and I will take that into consideration. Hopefully I could find something. Sometimes it's tricky. This week was tricky with Easter to get prepped for today, but I managed to find some time to do it. So I wanted to let you know too that I didn't talk about this before. I know we're doing the drawing today, so I hope everyone that's watching, because of someone else has told me so in the comments, because I will pull the drawing. I'll pull the drawing after, because I have to go back and look at it. And so once we're done with the live, I will pull that, and then I will come back on with a little video that I post that shows the drawing. Hopefully I can get that done before 10 o'clock tonight. So, but looking forward to next week, I want to do another contest. So, because it's just more fun. But what I want to do going towards next week is I want to try to do a mystery hostess code. So the way that's going to work online, I think the easiest way is I am running a host code that's open right now. So that'll be the workshop that becomes the mystery workshop. So if you put an order in of $25 before shipping and tax into the host code that it's listed on my website, and I'll put it also in the comments of this afterwards. And then you'll be entered into a drawing for the Mystery Hostess Rewards. And we will draw that at next week's live event. So if you're needing some things, you had a wish list, I like contests too, Mary. They're fun. But if you're needing a few things and or had some things on the wish list, go ahead and put that in and you'll be in the drawing for it. Of course, we're going to have to get to the amount for it to be a workshop to do this, so hopefully we can. But, and if you need help figuring that out, just let me know. So what else is going on out there? I know those of you that know Tanya and I know that we announced that we've postponed the Derby crop. We talked about that in Crop Opportunities. Tanya and I host a crop for the Highlands Band. And we've had to postpone that because the Derby was postponed. So, and school is still going to be closed. We couldn't get it ready in time by then. So, so that's going on. I know we're going to be a little sad about that come May 2nd. I also have another thing. I don't know if everybody saw. I'm wearing my summer fair t-shirt. I'm a summer fair volunteer year-round. And I always do stuff with the fair, and I know that was announced that was actually being canceled for the year, which was a good thing because they draw artists from all over the country. Okay, Cindy, I'll see you later. But, so anyway, that's what's going on with me, and I hope you're all doing well. So, as far as looking forward to next time, just remember that if you want to be included in the mystery hostess drawing, just put an order in of $25, and you'll be considered. So I think that's everything. I feel like I haven't done enough, but hopefully I haven't talked as long as usual. I know, no summer fair, Mary. That's I don't see how they could have, because people come from all over the country. It's really hard on the artists too. I think about all the artists out there, because anyone in that field, whether you're a print artist or whether you're a musical artist or whatever it is, there's the whole spectrum there. But we'll get through this. I'll mimic Andy. We'll get through this together. That's what this is about. That's why I wanted to see you here online with me. This is as much for me as hopefully for you. Thanks, Rebecca. And like I said, if anybody wants something from the demo, please let me know. So I hope you're all okay. We didn't talk the fact about that it was a hat day, but I think it's going to be a hat day every day we get together now. You're welcome, Sharon. I just don't see how I'm going to be able to show my hair for quite some time. I wish I could see you too. Maybe if I figure out Zoom, we could do one of these in a Zoom, but I'm sure my techie sons could tell me. We have an interesting house here because everyone has different live things going on at different times of day. Thanks, Mary. All right, I'm going to cut it short now. Take care of each other. Reach out and ask me questions if you have any questions about how the Mystery Hostess reward contest poll for next week is going to go, and I'll explain it. I'll have a post about it too. But thank you for coming, everybody. I'm going to keep doing this until you tell me to stop, I guess. I'll send you a sample, Terry. I have your address. See you, Sarah. You going to make a card, Sarah? You can do it. I know you have the things to do it. Bye, everybody. Please take care.